Hello everyone. We have finished with chapter 7, that is application of definite integration. And so we begin with miscellaneous exercise 7. And let us see what type of sums we are going to get over here. The first question, choose the correct alternative. Now in this case, the first one, that is area of the region bounded by the curve x square is equal to y, the x-axis and the lines x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 3 is dash. So we apply this particular formula, that is a is equal to integral from x is equal to 1 to 3. We have y dx coming as the area, which is integral 1 to 3 x square dx, because y is given as x square here, so x square dx, and which comes out as x cube from 1 to 3. This comes out as the answer. So we apply the limit of integration. So we get 3 cube minus 1 cube upon 3, x cube upon 3. Over here the answer is x cube upon 3. So 3 cube minus 1 cube upon 3, which is 27 minus 1 upon 3, which is 26 upon 3. So from here A becomes the correct answer. So our answer over here is A. Now going on to the next question. So as you can see in the next question, area of the region bounded by y square is equal to 4x, the x-axis and the lines x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 4 is dash. Again, it's a straightforward sum because we find what is y from y square. Actually y square is equal to 4x and therefore y becomes 2 root x, and therefore our required area is the area and the area of this particular function, that is integral of from 1 to 4 y dx, which is integral 1 to 4 2 root x dx. Okay, and applying the formula we get 2 x raised to 1 upon 2 plus 1. You remember that root x means x raised to 1 upon 2. So 1 upon 2 plus 1 upon 1 upon 2 plus 1 from 1 to 4, which becomes 2 into x raised to 3 by 2 upon 3 by 2 from 1 to 4. Take the 3 by 2 above. In the numerator we get 4 upon 3 into x raised to 3 by 2 from 1 to 4. Now we apply the limit of integration. So 4 upon 3 into this becomes 4 raised to 3 by 2 minus 1 raised to 3 by 2. This way. And then we write over here like this, that is 4 upon 3 into 4 raised to 3 by 2 can be written as 4 raised to half. This we have done many times earlier also, but just I'm reminding you, 4 raised to half cube. Now 1 raised to 3 by 2 is 1 itself. So we can just write 1 over here. Since we are solving an MCQ, the steps are for our benefit actually. Final answer is what matters over here. So 4 upon 3 into, we are going to get now 4 raised to half means root 4. So root 4 will be 2 in this case. So therefore we get 2 cube minus 1 or 8 minus 1, which is 7. So 4 into 7 upon 3. So the answer becomes 28 upon 3 square units. So 28 upon 3. So the correct option from this, with those which are given over here, is C obviously. So C becomes the correct answer for us. Now we move on to the next question, the third question. Okay, over here the third question. Now in this particular question, just see the question what it is. Area of the region bounded by x square is equal to 16y and the lines y is equal to 4 and y is equal to 1 is given. See the difference over here. X is not given, but y is equal to 1 and y is equal to 4 is given, and the y axis. That means we are going to integrate with respect to y and not with respect to x as we do usually. Okay, so our required area becomes the integral y is equal to 1 up to y is equal to 4. Okay, and it becomes x dy. Okay, x dy. This becomes our integration formula for integration. So here x square is equal to 16y is given, and therefore x becomes 4 root y. So somewhat like the previous sum now, isn't it? So now we just apply the this particular value for x. Okay, so we get a is equal to integral 1 to 4 x dy becomes 4 root y dy. Okay, which upon solving is going to give us 4 into y raised to 3 by 2 like the previous sum upon 3 by 2 between the limits 1 to 4. Again we bring that 3 by 2 in the numerator, so it becomes 8 upon 3. See, 2 gets multiplied by 4, so 4 into 2 upon 3 it becomes, and we apply the limits over here, that is 4 raised to 3 by 2 minus 1 raised to 3 by 2, which is 8 upon 3, doing like the previous sum, just like we did the second sum. Okay, 4 raised to 3 by 2 is going to ultimately become 8 minus 1 over here. Okay, so we get 8 into 7 upon 3, which is 56 upon 3. So this becomes our answer. So C is the correct option here as well. So C becomes the correct option. Now the next sum. Now here what happens is that the fourth and the fifth sum, both of them have been done earlier in the exercise. Both of them have been done earlier. So you can refer to the previous lecture where we did the exercise, or the previous to previous lecture as well, and find the answers for these two questions. They have been done earlier for you. Now the second question, fill in the blanks. Now in fill in the blanks, again the first question has already been done in the exercise. So you can refer to the exercise and do that sum. The third question, the same thing, it has already been done earlier. Now the fourth and the fifth questions are very similar to question 1 of MCQ and question 2 of MCQ. So these two questions you are completing as an assignment. Okay, so these two questions, the fourth question and the fifth question, this is an assignment for you too. So we come to the second question. So second question is what we are doing over here now. Using integration, definite integration, area of the circle x square plus y square is equal to 49 is dash. Again, it is very similar to a sum which we had done earlier, but yet I'll help you out with this sum. Okay, so in this case, suppose the figure of the circle, suppose we draw a rough figure of the circle so that we can understand what is to be done over here. Over here, suppose this is a circle. Now comparing the equation x square plus y square is equal to 49. Remember, we are doing this particular sum. So comparing the equation x square plus y square is equal to 49 with x square plus y square is equal to r square. Okay, we get the radius of the circle r is equal to 7. Okay, so the circle touches the x-axis at 7. That means if you find the area of the circle in the first quadrant, area of the portion of the circle coming in the first quadrant, if you find the area of this particular region coming between the lines x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 7, then you can multiply that area by 4 and get the area of the entire circle. So suppose we name this region in the first quadrant as OAB. So we can say that area of region OAB. Okay, in this case OAB, OABO, because it is coming back. So OABO, it's a closed region, no, that's why, is equal to integral from 0 to 7. So we are finding the area between x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 7. So area between 0 to 7 y dx. This is the area of the region. Therefore, required area of the circle is 4 times this area. So required area of the circle is equal to 4 times 0 to 7 y dx. This way. Now what about y? From the question, okay, from the question, that is x square plus y square is equal to 49. From this question, we get y square is equal to 49 minus x square, and therefore y is equal to, root of 49 minus x square, which can also be written as root of 7 square minus x square. Therefore, the required area A is equal to 4 integral 0 to 7 root of 7 square minus x square dx. And here you know the formula, isn't it? We have learned the formula earlier. In a few sums you have used this formula also. It is this formula, integral root of a square minus x square dx, isn't it? Which is actually x square upon 2 root of a square minus x square plus a square upon 2 the root of, in this case, root of, not root of, it is sine inverse x upon a and plus c. This is the formula actually. So we are going to apply this same formula over here. So we get 4 times x square upon a square, in this case x square upon x square upon 2 root of a square minus x square, that is same thing, 49 minus x square plus a square upon 2, again a is 7, so 49 upon 2 sine inverse x upon a from 0 to 7. Now applying the values, upper limit and lower limit of integration, we are going to get 4 into 7 square upon 2 root of 49 minus 7 square plus the remaining, that is 49 upon 2 sine inverse x upon a, that is 7 upon 7. In this case it was not a, we should have written 7 over here. Okay, we write 7. So 7 upon 7. And this was the upper limit. So lower limit becomes, wherever x is there we put 0. This way. Now obviously those who have learned the first sum, earlier sums like this, they will know that the first term becomes 0. 49 minus 49 is 0, and so 0 into anything is 0. So the first term goes away and the second term becomes this way, that is 4 into 49 upon 2 sine inverse of 1. 7 upon 7 means 1 minus, again here the first term goes away and the second term becomes 49 upon 2 sine inverse of 0. This way. Now sine inverse 1 is 90. Again I have told this to you many times. Sine inverse 1 is 90. We can take 49 upon 2 common and pi by 2. 90 means pi by 2 and sine inverse 0 is 0. So minus 0. So here 4 into 49 upon 2 into pi by 2. So this 4 goes away with this 2 and 2, and so we get 49 pi square units. So in fill in the blanks question, the answer comes out to be 49 pi square units, that is it. The next question is state whether true or false. In that, the first one, the area bounded by the curve x is equal to gy, y-axis, and bounded between the lines y is equal to c and y is equal to d is given by integral c to d x dy, which is integral y is equal to c to y is equal to d gy dy. Let us see if this statement is true or false by just constructing a rough diagram of a curve that is here. Okay, suppose this is our x-axis and our y-axis. And suppose this is our curve, x is equal to gy. So this becomes our curve. The lines are y is equal to d and y is equal to c. So suppose these are the lines. This is the point y is equal to C, and suppose this is the point y is equal to D, and the y-axis is this one. Okay, so in this case, this is the curve which has the equation x is equal to gy. Okay, so this is the area to be found out, and here what is the formula for finding this area? So it becomes A is equal to integral C to D x dy, which is integral y is equal to C to y is equal to D gy dy. That means whatever they have stated over here is true. So our answer for this particular statement is true. This is something which is given already in textbook. We have covered it. I'm just reminding you about this. So coming to the second question. The area bounded by two curves y is equal to fx and y is equal to gx and the x-axis is mod of integral a to b fx dx minus integral b to a gx dx. Again, I'll help you out by constructing this curve over here. Now the first curve is y is equal to fx. Suppose the curve is this way, y is equal to fx. The second curve y is equal to gx. Suppose we have it this way. So the required area comes over here. This is the required area bounded by both the curves. And suppose just to help us out, we draw these two lines. So the area comes between these two lines. These lines are x is equal to a and x is equal to b. Obviously the area becomes integral. The first one, that is y is equal to gx. So a to b y gx. Oh sorry, it becomes fx. Okay, y is equal to fx was the first curve. Over here y is equal to fx was the first curve, and so this becomes over here fx dx minus the other region. Okay, first curve minus the second curve. Second curve is y is equal to gx again, but this integral limits are same, by a to b gx dx. And we can put a mod sign because it is the absolute value which we'll be taking as the area. So compare this to what answer that they have given over here. Yes, there is a small difference, isn't it? Over here in the second case, they have given the integral b to a gx dx, which is wrong. It is a to b gx dx. That means whatever question has been given here, the question is false. So we are going to write this as false actually. Now coming to the third question. In the third question, the area bounded by the curve y is equal to fx, the x-axis and the lines x is equal to a and x is equal to b is dash. That is what is given over here. So actually they have given the answer as integral a to b fx dx, not dash. Okay, we are supposed to find out whether this is true or what. So in this case, the curve would be this way. The curve is y is equal to fx. So let us draw it like this. Y is equal to fx. And the lines are x is equal to a and x is equal to b. Then the area which is bounded by this curve is to be given. As you can see from the formula, the required area is going to come out as integral a to b fx dx. And that means what? This answer is true actually. So this is the answer that we are getting, and they are given this answer itself. That means this statement is true. So that is what we are writing over here. Going to the fourth question. Now fourth question is, if the curve under consideration is below the x-axis then the area bounded by the x-axis and the lines x is equal to a and x is equal to b is positive. This is what they are asking, whether it is true or what. Now in this case, suppose we draw a curve under the x-axis, below the x-axis. We are going to get a curve like this. Suppose the lines are x is equal to a and x is equal to b. Now since the area is coming below the x-axis, we are going to get a negative answer. Area will be negative. But then we only consider the absolute value of the area and therefore it comes as positive. That means basically the area is going to be negative. So that means the actual value of the area is negative, and so this answer is going to be false. This statement is false. Whatever statement that they have given us is false. Then coming to this sum, fifth sum, the area of the portion lying above the x-axis is positive. Just now we saw that fact in the third question actually. That means this is true. This statement is true actually. So in this way we finish the true or false questions as well. So only one more question remains. Solve the following remains of miscellaneous exercise 7. That we are going to do in the next lecture. So thank you so much for listening and see you in the next lecture.